Hello friends, welcome to the Trading Temple channel. Today we're going to analyze the Liquidation protocol, Bitcoin, and the total market caps. As you can see for yourselves, yesterday the crypto market dropped in a really strange way, something that has never happened before in crypto. It was even worse than during the COVID period that we saw nearly 7 billion in crypto liquidations, and the market experienced a very sharp drop. Now, if I want to explain clearly what this means, it means, for example, as you can see with a coin like this one, exactly what's happening. This means that those positions where traders had opened long positions or buy positions were affected. In this area, in this area, in this area, and in these lower areas that you see here, when you open buy positions in these zones, set a stop loss for yourself and use margin to buy in crypto, it causes your stop losses to be down here. And when the market drops this sharply, it means you get liquidated and all your stop losses are triggered. This is what happened across the entire crypto market last night, resulting in $3 to $7 billion in liquidations in the crypto market, which was one of the biggest liquidations in crypto history. Some coins even dropped as much as 90% in a single daily candle, but they managed to bounce back pretty well. Now we have to see what will happen in the near future for the market. What you see here has had a very strong support. Usually when you have such a strong support and the price hits this area several times, many traders open buy positions here, and that's why the liquidation in this area is very high. That means a lot of money has been put into this area. When the price drops sharply like this, it hits traders' stop losses and causes the price to fall even further, leading to a significant drop in value. And this happened across the entire crypto market late last night, causing many people to take losses, and some even lost their entire capital on the exchange. What we need to see in the short term is this kind of pattern, which we often see in crypto, but not usually this intense. Right now, in the short term, it's possible that the price will go up and test this support that was lost, treating it as resistance, and the price might get rejected from there and go back down. What's important is that if the price reaches this resistance and manages to break through it, that is, for example, it goes up, comes back down, and then goes up again. This kind of structure is very bullish if it happens. And also here we could have the 200-day, 50-day, and 100-day moving averages, which are gradually coming down. And in this area, the price could touch them. Usually in these situations, when a backtest happens, it's to this resistance. In these conditions, in this situation, it's very good and we can become bullish. But in the current situation, it's very bearish and the conditions are very tough. And also, as we can see in the volume has been very red. If we look at the daily time frame, there's a situation that if I want to show you, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Back during the COVID period, when we wanted to find the bottom, we had to go back a bit. In these situations, if you look here, the price got liquidated and the price dropped a lot in Bitcoin. The next day's candle had a very high volume, and that's where the bottom was formed. If we find ourselves in a situation like this where the volume goes up, we might form a V-shaped bottom and the price could gradually start to recover. This V formation that we created here is something we can sometimes see in some coins, but we need to see a large green volume bar to indicate that this is the bottom. That's what's important for us today. We have to wait and see if we get a green volume bar that indicates the market might turn around or not. But if there's no volume and the price slowly goes up and tests this area, it's very likely that it will go down. Or sometimes the price might just move sideways here like this and then drop. Again, in these two scenarios, nothing is certain. If the price goes up, it's okay. It can test and then go back up. We have to see what happens in the next few days. It's the same on the near protocol chart. If you look, you can see these prices, those who had buy positions in these areas, in this area, and even in these areas, if someone had opened a buy position and their stop losses were below here, you can see that with the price dropping so sharply, it hit all the traders' stop losses, and that's why they say it got liquidated. And the same thing in most charts, in fact, across the entire crypto market. You can see this happened yesterday. What's truly interesting and quite remarkable about the Near Protocol coin is that after this significant event occurred and it experienced a sharp drop, subsequently setting a new lower low, the price then impressively bounced back very sharply and managed to successfully close the daily candle it had formed last night well above this crucial support level. This demonstrates a strong recovery. And in the volume we're seeing, the volume is very red. And just like I mentioned with the previous coin, I said that if the next volume, that is the volume that's going to form today, is very positive and green, this could be a bottom. But if it's not green, the price might get rejected again and go down. And what you're seeing here is that in this trend line I've drawn, Near Protocol has broken through this trend line and moved downward. We've talked a lot about this resistance as well, and it was around $3.50. The price hit this resistance several times and got rejected. And at this point, Near Protocol has lost all of its moving averages. There's only one scenario left for Near Protocol if it wants to turn bullish. It needs to break through this trend line and this short-term resistance, which is around $2.60. And that means the price needs to go above the trend line, do a back test, and then continue on its path. But we need to see if the volume we're looking for actually shows up in the price, a green volume bar that's at least as big as the previous day's volume. At a minimum, we need to see a green volume bar reach that level so that we can determine whether this is a bottom or not. The current situation is very bearish. We need to see what happens in the next few days. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin has broken through all the support levels we've talked about in recent days. As you can see, the volume is very red and it has hit the last support level here at $107,000, which has been tested several times. It was tested here once, there was a bounce. It was tested here again, there was a bounce, and now this is the third time it's hit this level. And at the same time, it's also testing this long-term trend line that's been in place for several years. Bitcoin's situation is very dangerous and it could drop at any moment. If Bitcoin loses this crucial support, things will get really tough for it. In certain situations, Bitcoin usually drops and liquidates most traders. In these scenarios, you see that it goes down, makes a lower low, and then comes back up. You can see that this has happened here as well. The price might go down and then come back up again. If something like this happens, it's bullish. But if the price drops, loses the trend line, and also loses the 200-day moving average, which it touched last night, and then comes back up and makes this move, Bitcoin is done for, and the chances of a free fall increase significantly. So let's see how Bitcoin reacts in the next few days. If it holds here and gives us a strong green volume, we can become bullish again. But with the structure that's formed here, I doubt Bitcoin can show any strength. On the weekly time frame, we talked last week about how it formed a very good candle here and moved up last week. But the candle it has formed now is a very bad one. It's an engulfing candle on the weekly time frame. When you form a candle like this, it's very bearish. And on the RSI time frame as well, you can see that just like in 2021, when you make higher highs on the chart, you see that on the RSI, we are making lower lows and a divergence has occurred. And you can see the same pattern here as well. The price is going up, but on the RSI, we have a divergence and it's going down. And when this happened in 2021, Bitcoin entered a bear market. And the same thing is happening now under these conditions. It's very sensitive, and I think there's a strong possibility it might break through here because this is the third time it's hit this support level. On CoinMarketCap, for coins that are ranked above the top 10, you can see that last night there was a sharp drop, almost 50%. It fell from here, nearly 50% in a single day. Personally, in the 7 years I've been in the crypto market, I've never seen a candle where the price drops 50% in one day. Usually these kinds of patterns are similar to what happened in this section, and you can see that when it drops like this and there's liquidation, the market tends to move sideways for a while and then gradually continues its downward path. That is, what can happen here is that the price can slowly go up a bit, then drop again, and the sideways movement can gradually continue like this and head downward. We can only become bullish under one condition. What I mean is when it comes and fills this gap and gradually moves upward, in such a situation, we can turn around and become bullish. But with the current conditions, it's a very difficult and complicated task. I think now the probability of it going down is higher. With the current setup, if it can break through these highs that have formed here in the next few days or the next 2 or 3 weeks, the price could go up a lot. But if not, things get tough and the probability of the price going down increases. In the total market cap of all crypto, you can also see that the price went down and filled this gap here, and then the price came back above this support level, which is at the all-time highs, and it's testing this area. It's also very important here that the price holds this level if it wants to make a move. If it wants to go up, it has to hold this price. But if it can't hold here and drops below, it's over, and we can say we've entered a bear market. The current situation is indeed very tough and challenging, so let's carefully observe and see what precisely happens in the upcoming days. That was today's comprehensive video about the exciting developments concerning SEI and Near Protocol, as well as a brief, insightful look at the current state of Bitcoin. I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe, and don't forget that trading is never 100% certain. Everything is based on probability. And I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Until the next video, goodbye.